All right. Welcome, welcome. It's Monday. We had some technical difficulties, but we made it here. Hi there. For those of you who haven't seen me or met me before, my name is Crystal Meagher. I'm so excited to be meeting with you this Monday here in Vanessa's group. My name, again, Crystal Meagher. I am a life and financial coach, and I am here to help you get some tips for a debt-free holiday. So here we are. It's already the week of Thanksgiving. How did that happen so quickly? I don't know. I just came from a whirlwind vacation visiting family. We had an early Thanksgiving. It was a wonderful celebration. Hopefully this is finding you all enjoying a week off or maybe a day off later this week. So let's get into it. How can we have a debt-free holiday? So as a financial coach, always looking to promote staying out of debt as our number one tool for building wealth in our future is going to be protecting our income, which means staying out of debt. Okay, so for this year, my wish for you all is to have a debt-free holiday. And we're going to cover several ways that we can make that possible for you this year. And if not this year, we're going to start planning ahead for next year because it's never too early. Okay. So those who have a plan win with money, especially. All right. Okay. So how can we have a debt-free holiday? These are some of my top budgeting tips for you for this year. Last year it was, let me look, I've got notes here, $789.4 billion were spent on Christmas shopping last year. Okay. That's billion with a B. Can you imagine? So how do we not contribute to an excess amount of spending this year? Of course, we have gifts that we want to give to the people in our lives that we love and want to show our appreciation for. But how do we stay away from going overboard? And, the answer is may shock some of you and it may not, but it's gonna start with having a budget. And I know in a lot of households, budget can be a dirty word, but I want you to understand that with a budget comes power. With a budget comes clarity and power to use your money as you see fit. Okay. Sometimes it can feel restrictive to people like, oh, I don't want to be on a budget. I really like these Black Friday sales, Crystal. I want to go crazy. I want to feel like I have, an abundance. Well, let me tell you, it doesn't feel very abundant to come out of this week and all the wonderful sales that are happening and look at your bank account and go, oh my gosh, I went a little too crazy and now I have a problem and we're not even into December yet. So we want you to start with a budget, and you've got to set up a holiday budget. So we talked about Thanksgiving this week. If you're celebrating Thanksgiving, we want to plan not just for gifts, but also for things like travel. We want to plan for food, special meals. Maybe we're doing some extra shopping this year or this week or even next month during the holidays. So we want to plan for those special occasions. Maybe you do a special outing every year during the holidays with your family. We want to work that into the budget. We don't want it to be a surprise thing and we're throwing it on a credit card and walking away going, oh my gosh, the end of the year comes and goes and we look at our bank accounts and go, oh, what do we do? That's what I don't want for you. Okay. So we're going to have a plan. We're going to create a holiday budget, and we want to save for your holiday fund. If you haven't started doing that yet, we'll talk about some ways that you can save in the few weeks that we have left between now and all of the wonderful holidays that we'll be celebrating for the rest of the year. Hopefully you've started planning. If you haven't, like I said, we'll talk about some tips. If you have, I want you to start with a budget for your holidays by writing out, okay, this is going to be really exciting. Are you ready? We're going to write out something called a zero-based budget. And if you have ever done budgeting before, you may have heard of a zero-based budget. It's a pretty simple concept. A zero-based budget is where you track 100% of your income. So any money that is coming into your account is considered income. That may be pay from work. It may be someone owed you some money. It may be I don't know, you sold something on Craigslist, cool, congratulations. Any money that is coming into your account is considered income, and we want to account for every single dollar. And here's why. We'll make a list of your income and we'll make a list of your expenses. And in a zero-based budget, we want those to balance out to zero. Now, don't be surprised if the first time you try this, it doesn't come out to zero. That's perfectly common, normal. And it just means that we need to start adjusting some of our numbers and some of our spendings. When we're creating a zero-based budget, we want to start with our four walls, okay? So our four walls are our housing, our utilities to keep us warm, food, and then very basic clothing. We're talking necessity, not like that extra cute jacket that we saw on sale in all our beautiful Black Friday marketing. So we want to cover our four walls, our expenses, and then the extra things like the phone bill and the cable bill, things like that, when you're listing your expenses. And then if you have money set aside, saved for the holidays, we'll list that in there too. If you don't, we're going to need to revisit that budget and see what's happening in the budget where we're not getting to zero. So we're going to do the same thing for a holiday budget. You're going to choose an amount of money that you're wanting to spend on the holidays. Now, this is not a make-believe number or an imaginary number that we pulled out of thin air. This number will be based on the money you make, the money you save, and the money that you've put aside for holidays. So that number, let's see, that number, here's something to think about. Last year, people spent, $789 billion on Christmas shopping. It's wild. And the average person spends, not to compare yourself, but the average person spends, just for knowledge, $998 a year on holiday shopping. So that number may seem high for some of you. It may seem like that's not nearly enough. How's that going to work? But it's just to give you, you shouldn't be picking a number based on anyone else's number. Like I said, we want it to be based on how much money you make, how much money you save, and anything that you have allocated for your holiday shopping. So we're going to start with that number for your holiday budget, and then you're going to make a list, old-fashioned list of all the people that you want to gift to this holiday season. And then you're going to choose a dollar amount for each of those people, okay? And then you're going to do something crazy, and you're going to stick to your plan. We have to stick to the plan. We have to stick to the budget. Does that mean you won't go a little over on your great Aunt Jenny's gift giving where you allocated 70 and you spent 75 or whatever it was? No, we're not, it's not always a perfect world. Rarely is it a perfect world. And so you'll just need to adjust your budget accordingly as you work through the holidays. So as you do some shopping, you'll want to revisit. You may even want to put a cash envelope aside for your holiday budget. So you may take out a physical envelope and write, if your family has looked over your budget and decided that $1,000 seems sufficient for spending on holiday items this year, you can put $1,000 in cash into that envelope, and then you can balance it as you go. Spending cash, it's a good thing. Good old-fashioned cash. There is an energetic exchange that happens when you go into a store and you hand cash over to the teller and they give you something in return. You're giving them something and they're giving you something in return. When we use, I don't even have one here, I have a gift card here. When we use, plastic card and we go, someone gifted this to me recently, and swipe it through or tap to pay, we are not feeling the energetic exchange of money is actually leaving our account. When we see money actually leave our hand, it leaves a completely different impression on our brain. So psychologically, you will spend less when you're paying with cash. Isn't that wild? So pay with cash when you can, keep a running balance of what you've been spending on your gifts, and make sure you're sticking to your plan, okay? Let's see here. I wanted to talk to you guys about this zero-based budget a little bit. This is something I use year round. It's not just for holidays. I highly encourage others to use it. If you need help or have questions about it, please feel free to ask. But a zero-based budget is going to give you power. You're going to see exactly what you have coming in and exactly where it's going out. And oftentimes I work with clients and we sit down and do this for the first time for some people. And really, we truly get specific to giving every single dollar a job. And now, does that mean there's no excess dollars? Doesn't mean I want you to spend all your money. It means that any excess dollars after expenses are paid are given a job. So that job might be to go to savings, an emergency fund. That job might be to go into a fund for putting a new roof on your home or paying for your kids' dental work. Whatever it is that's coming up. Or if you're really smart, you're planning ahead for next year's holiday season and you're stashing a little bit of money away each month. It's so much less painful when you do it each month and then next year comes and boom, you've got $1,000 sitting there. It's not coming out of your income in the month of November or December unexpectedly, right? Because the holidays happen the same time every year. It's not a surprise. It's not an emergency. We don't want to start ringing up debt to get through the holidays. And I also want to speak to people whose holiday season may look a little different this year or just in general. Like, hey, Crystal, we're not really going crazy with gifts. We're not big on spending a lot of money anyways. And we don't like to have a lot of stuff. We really enjoy and appreciate, like my family, experiences. And that may be something you want to consider. So gifting people things like experiences. You may have a family that you're wanting to gift for. Maybe you have a brother and a sister-in-law with some kids. You might look into getting a zoo membership or something. And you're like, wait, a zoo membership, it's like $120 or whatever it is, $150. When you break it down per person to what you might be spending on individual gifts, that may be a beautiful family gift to give to them. And yeah, things like that, things like art museums and experiences like miniature golf, things like that, gift cards for things like that for a whole family or people to experience together. Wonderful, wonderful gifts. There's so many ways to give that don't include spending an excessive amount of money or giving a lot of things that really aren't going to be used far beyond the time that they're received. And it is fun. It's so fun, right? To watch little kids and our loved ones open up and receive gifts that light them up and all the little things. But at the end of the day, when we're all done opening the gifts, we look around. I think we all understand the thing that really matters is that we are showing gratitude for one another, showing our love for one another, and also being respectful of what is healthy for us and our families, not just emotionally, but also financially, and being responsible and setting that example for our children of being responsible with our energy, being responsible with our finances and how we spend and use those things. Okay. So before I wrap up, I want to make sure that I cover some tips on how you can plan ahead for next year and even save for this year. If you're looking at me or listening in today and you're thinking, Crystal, I have not even planned for the holidays. I knew they were coming. I know it happens every year. And I don't think about it. And I just shop and I buy what I need to buy. And I just figure it all out later. And sometimes it's a mess. I want you to know that you can save this year. In the short amount of time that we have between now and the coming holidays, it's still possible for you to save some cash in your typical monthly expenses so that you can purchase a few items for your loved ones or people you're feeling you want to gift something to, okay? So planning for next year and even for this year might look like calling your cable company, okay? So it's still November, okay? December's coming. December's kind of the big month for so many of us. And if you want, you can reach out to your cable company and inquire about, maybe you want to eliminate your cable altogether. For some people, that's like $300. I mean, that's a lot of money for 1 month. So you can call your cable company. You can cancel cable if you want. You can ask if they have any opportunities for savings. That's typically something I recommend my clients do every several months or so is to reach out and see if there's any promotional deals going on. That goes for cable companies, that goes for your phone, your cell phone service, reaching out, seeing if there's any promotional deals. This is a great time of year to look at your subscriptions, okay? How many of you have some automated subscriptions going on that are being deducted every month? Just a couple dollars, Crystal, it's just a little bit. I can't tell you how many times I've sat down with clients, reviewed their budget line by line together and went, oh my gosh, you could be saving $300, $120, $20 in these subscriptions that you're not even really utilizing. Or for some of you, maybe it's just about saving for this particular holiday season. You're like, you know what? I can go without in the month of December. I can go without that subscription to Disney Plus. I can go without that subscription for my cable company or whatever it is, little passports, all these things that people have when they have children and families, and you accumulate subscriptions and don't even realize how much you're spending from month to month. Selling items online. People out there are shopping for a good deal right now. Sure, there's lots of deals on new things, but there's some people who are looking for secondhand items. You might want to list some things on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, those kinds of things, and pick up a little extra cash this season. Okay, so there's a lot of opportunity for you to create some income, create some savings right now. You could have a DIY Christmas and start creating some of your gifts. It's so beautiful. My daughter really excited this year about making some gifts for family. Her grandmother's teaching her how to crochet. Obviously, we still have to buy materials, but have a DIY Christmas. Okay, look for deals early, which is like now, if you haven't thought about it. You could start making your coffees at home and save on some cash there this month. Like I said, cell phone plans, cable plans, and make sure you're actually saving your money when you do that, okay? Because it's so easy for it to bloop, go and disappear somewhere else. So make sure if you cancel some subscriptions or you save some money or sell something this month or this coming month, that you're putting it away into your holiday fund, okay? I hope this has been helpful for all of you. I'm going to wrap it up today and try to keep it short. I know I got on here late. I'm so glad for all of you who came and listened, and I hope this has been helpful. Please reach out if you have any questions, or you can write them down in the comments, and I'll be checking the thread here and answering any questions you have about your finances and your holiday budget. All right, you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to talking to you all soon.